Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to talk about the physics behind the working of a rocket and how it is able to lift off from the ground and travel into space. Before we dive into the physics, let's take a look at the different parts of a rocket. A rocket consists of several parts, including the nose cone, payload, fuel tanks, engines, and fins. Each of these parts plays a critical role in the functioning of a rocket. The nose cone helps to reduce drag and provides a streamlined shape to the rocket. The payload is the part of the rocket that carries the satellites, scientific instruments, or crew. The fuel tanks store the fuel required to power the rocket, and the engines provide the thrust needed to lift the rocket off the ground. Now, let's talk about the physics behind the rocket's launch. The key concept that allows a rocket to lift off the ground is Newton's third law of motion, which states that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. The rocket engine works by expelling hot gases out of its nozzle, which creates an equal and opposite reaction that propels the rocket upwards. The amount of thrust generated by the engine depends on the speed at which the gases are expelled, and the mass of the gases being expelled. The fuel used in a rocket engine is usually a mixture of liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen. When these fuels are burned, they produce a hot gas that is expelled out of the engine nozzle, generating the thrust needed to lift the rocket off the ground. As the rocket takes off, it experiences a force known as gravity, which pulls it towards the ground. However, the thrust generated by the engine is strong enough to overcome this force, allowing the rocket to lift off the ground and travel into space. Once the rocket is in space, it no longer experiences the force of gravity and can travel freely. The rocket's engines can then be used to change its direction and velocity, allowing it to reach its destination. The basic principle of a rocket engine is simple, but the design and engineering of a rocket system are extremely complex and require careful consideration of many different factors, including the weight of the rocket and its payload, the shape and size of the rocket, the fuel and oxidizer used, and the requirements of the mission. And that's the physics behind the working of a rocket. By using the principles of Newton's laws of motion, rockets are able to travel to space and explore the unknown. Thank you for watching. Like the video and subscribe the channel for more interesting videos.